Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Estate Huddle, and we're going to talk about how to find and the process of finding the right property that's going to be a great investment for you down the road. And so this is episode 56, and we're going to kick it off by just talking about the process that we take people through, which we think is a very sound process to help them not only find a great home, but a great investment that's going to really do well over the long term. And so based on your decisions and your guidance through the process, you will either make great decisions from an investment standpoint that will lead to higher rates of appreciation, or poor decisions that could cost you money and maybe even make it depreciate over time, especially depending on how you care for the property. But as far as how we start out, we always start out asking people what they want first, right? Sit them down, ask them, like, what do you guys want in a home? Like, what's important to you? And we realize that this is not our home purchase, it's their home purchase. And that is number one for us. Like, it's super important to know that. But I think that after they tell us what they like, and what is important to them, we take notes on that and try to apply that to the search as much as possible, right? But then after that, it's important that we educate them as real estate professionals on the investment side of real estate, right? Because you're buying a home, but you're also buying an investment, which is, for most people, one of the biggest investments they'll ever make. And so what are some of those key things, you guys, that go into a great real estate investment as far as the process of selecting a home goes?
Well, I think knowing the clients, if they're handy and capable, a home that needs a little bit of TLC, that's an easy way for them to grow their investment. Yeah. But if they don't know how to use a tape measure and they don't know what level means, like, that's a different market. You got to get the one that's already done. Yeah. And I think just knowing your skill set and YouTube University is very helpful, but it can only get you so far sometimes.
Right. Totally. Yeah, we've seen some clients do that, like go in and just buy some dogs of homes, right? They turn into something great because they have the skills to do that, and sweat equity can go a long way and save you a lot of money. So that's great. And there's certain places in the home that will yield higher returns, right? Especially cosmetics. We're talking about carpet, paint, appliances. Some of those things will yield 2 to 3 times what you spend on them if you were to pay someone to do it, compared to other projects, maybe like a deck, windows, furnace, roof, stuff like that just doesn't pay back because it's not emotional. So those are some of the things we coach people through. And I think number one is location. Like, the first thing I think of is, and I almost like the strategy of just like, guys, drive around, figure out what locations and neighborhoods you like the best, and then let's narrow it down to other things, right? But if you find a home that's just loaded with upgrades in the wrong location for you, then you're probably going to be looking to sell that home in the next couple of years. And so I think that's important, to narrow that location down first and then go from there.
So what else, like, with location, because I know it's like, what type of neighborhood, cul-de-sac, stuff like that, like those all have an effect. But what about like the actual town you're in? Right? Because when we're talking about location, we have to be careful as realtors because of certain regulations on how we advise. Yep. But because this is a podcast and I'm not working with an actual client right now, I would highly recommend every client, if you're looking at a house and you're looking at specific areas, please, 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 please look up the crime stats, look up just what's going on in that neighborhood. Because I've had a couple clients that definitely regret their decision of moving into specific areas. And there's a couple here in Colorado that everybody knows about. And
is it an apartment complex in Aurora?
I'm going to go into the specifics. So, but yes, no, but like, for example, like places in Aurora, right? They will not appreciate as much as a place, say, in Highlands Ranch, right? You're going to pay for it a little bit more. So, but the appreciation is different because of certain statistics. So please be cognizant of what's going on in that. I can't tell you to do that when I'm working with you. When I have a signed contract, I cannot tell you to do that by law. But take it from me on this one. If I'm not working with you, just get after it. Look up that stuff.
Understand the neighborhood.
Yeah, but even high level, we don't even know what they're capable of buying. So we talked in past about what can you afford getting started. So when you're talking and you've got a nice
Some
down
people
payment
don't
and you're
have a
buying a
choice.
single family home, it's a very different than I've got this much and I'm looking at a townhome or a condo.
Yeah.
And that's very different, condos with the HOAs, townhomes, et cetera. There's all these different variables. And then all these things are totally the same, right? Where? What are you near? What are the schools, et cetera? But I think a lot of my conversation is, what do you think you want? Maybe you can afford something different. Maybe it's a fixer-upper, but you're handy, and that's a way better investment if you can get into a single-family home based on return. But it's still part of the conversation. What do you think you want? Are you open to other ideas? Generally, they will. That's what they're paying us for.
I think we can also, to be more specific, Landon, if you could pick a perfect location, what would your perfect location look like in a suburban house?
Backing to a lake. That would be
Backing
my
to a
perfect
lake?
location, and
Okay.
also the market's location because water's so rare in Colorado.
Anything about the road?
Cul-de-sacs tend to be
Cul-de-sac,
more
right?
desirable.
Cul-de-sac. Backing to a
nice
open
wide
space.
street with lots that are spread apart, back into a lake. So everybody knows in Colorado you'd have to drive a while or pay millions of dollars to find that. But yeah, I mean we're talking about the top
Yeah, top
end,
tier, right?
best, right? I think the next best would be back into some green space, some open space. Stuff like that, is really ideal and has a premium on that location.
Golf courses are great too. Back into those.
Golf courses, mountain views are huge. Like any type of trail system or green belt, stuff like that will yield good results.
The non-through streets, like cul-de-sacs are huge as well.
Yep.
Or even the entry of a cul-de-sac is
Or
really
not
good.
being on the entry of a neighborhood where everybody's going to funnel in.
Yep. Staying off of the yellow-lined roads.
Yeah.
Those
I've
premier
never heard it
lots.
said that way. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah. Anything with yellow on it, probably. I mean, even white. Any road with stripes, I would steer clear of. If you're next to a crosswalk, probably not the greatest.
Well,
thing.
they don't always have the luxury of steering clear, but tends to be more valuable if there's less yellow. paint.
Correct. And back to your point, it's you got to get in what you can afford, right? That's. It's always better to own a home that's in good condition than not. But if we're talking specific, I'm trying to get more specific so people understand what we're talking about in location. Because some people don't really know, oh yeah, this is a good location, and us as realtors, not really.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think you nailed it there as far as that goes. And there's nothing really wrong with a neutral location, just backing to neighbors. I always like to either be looking down at neighbors rather than looking up at other people that are looking into your home. It's a little more invasive. So the market will ding you for that a little bit over time. They'll just have more buyers ready to buy a house that has a premier location or neighbors behind you with a flat landscape or you're looking down on them.
And something that a lot of people don't consider is the grading of the yard and where the sewer drains are. Are you at the low point? Are you at the high point? Where's the water going to run off?
Especially in the 1970s.
Yep, the watershed.
Yeah.
Well, and then and on the bad side, if you're backing to a road of any kind, that's going to ding you on appreciation. If you're backing, or if you're, like we mentioned, if you're on a lined road,
Train tracks. Landfills. Junkyards.
Wires above you,
Commercial
power
entities.
lines.
power lines. Yeah, excuse me.
Industrial.
Some
Anything
people
industrial.
consider next to an airport.
Yep.
I know people at Centennial Airport, in the Greenwood Village, Cherry Creek area, they hate it.
I just talked to them about that.
And they always vote against it and or for it, whatever they're trying to pass is. But stuff like that, it's you don't think about it when you're looking at houses. We as realtors, that's all we look at.
And if you're going to buy a house next to a speedway, know that was there before you, right? Before they built houses. So.
Unless you got a really strong lobby. No, I'm doing very relevant to this. So one of my very good buddies is a client of mine, and we're looking as we speak. And we went out and saw 5 homes last week. And I thought I understood his list, and he sends me a text last night, kind of where do you think I'm stewing on? And I said, probably this 2, maybe this one. And he says, nope. This other one, which we had pretty much written off because it was not pretty. It had not been cared for. But it has this beautiful little sliver of a green belt coming right up to the backyard, and it's gorgeous. And he is looking past, because the value lies, the appreciation lies. It's in Cherry Creek School District. It's got all this access. And he's like, I've done this. Now, I didn't think I wanted to do it again, but I know this play. I can make this place and get far more than what I'd put in back as a return. That's just a smart man.
That's awesome.
But it's all about location.
And it's
he
all about
realizes that.
it's all about the person too that you're like. Some people just can't seem to look at the potential of the house. I think we've all worked with some people where it's like we kind of have to help them say like, well, like if you did this, this, and this, it'll.
And you
it's a
still
total
have the
face-
mountain view.
Yeah, but like it's like I've had clients pass up on absolute diamonds. Just because they didn't have the flooring they wanted, or they, there were some holes in the drywall or something. It's like, hey, these are pretty cosmetic that you can fix over time.
Yeah.
This is livable right now.
Definitely.
Especially,
Sweat equity goes a long way.
And I've been looking for that exact example is where people can't see past it to find that model of a home that has already been renovated.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always work out that way, but I just recently had one happen to me where, hey, there's $100,000 difference between the sale price on this home and the one that they're looking at. And it's like, you can do a lot of work for $100,000 on carpet and paint and get to where you need to.
Yeah.
And
When you're getting 2 or 3 extra turns on what you're spending, that's easy.
yep.
Yeah.
So-
Well, and we can, to Chad's point, like we can pull up a map, right, as real estate agents and show them like these are the premier lots, right, that are in your area that you're looking for. These 4 are on premier locations, right? So I would try to look past some of the cosmetics a little bit more on these 4, just because that's a great location that's always going to sell very well. And then like what Chad was saying about type of home, right? Condos are going to appreciate at a lesser rate than townhomes.
Yeah.
Townhomes are going to appreciate at a lesser rate than single family homes. And so like single family homes are kind of the top end of the totem pole. And then you've got floor plans within that, right? So within the single family
floor
realm,
plans and layouts make a huge difference.
yeah, I mean, ranches will do the best, one level living, and then 2 stories will do the next best, and then tri-levels, and then split levels, and then bi-levels. And so there's floor plans that matter, location matters, type of home matters. Those will all contribute to your rate of appreciation over time, right? And so if you're going to buy and hold that property for a long time, it's really important to get it right on some of those things. And that's where guidance comes in, right? Where you can benefit from our help as far as that goes.
in my defense, my buddy told me he was not up for another remodel.
Yeah.
So
So
Yeah,
he
there's a time and a
misled you.
season for everything.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, some people that's their different stage of life. They're not willing to go through that again, but because they've already been through it a couple
Yeah.
times. So I get it.
But this is like the perfect market to talk about this because there's a lot of homes on the market, right?
have options.
There's a lot of options. We have everything from condemned houses on the market to brand new homes on the market. And so you have a wide array, but unfortunately some of those updated homes exceed budgets. And so it's so valuable to have the eyes to see the potential. Like just reiterating that again, because it's super valuable as a buyer.
sometimes it's
Super
even
valuable.
it goes beyond having the eyes. I think we all develop the eyes faster than like the being able to look. And to your earlier example, like $100,000 more, I know you can get there, and it'll cost you something less than $100,000. Not all of us are great at that. Some are better than the others, but that's the fun time. And I think we keep coming back to similar themes. And right now, it's a really good time to buy. So that house in a great location that it has not been loved, but it's been sitting there for 111 days. There are opportunities, and truthfully, that's one of the most fun part of our job.
Yeah.
Is getting a great home at a great deal with tons of upside.
You'd be surprised what a fresh coat of paint will do.
Yeah.
And I say that somewhat jokingly, but all like some very minor things that make a huge difference in your house.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and pretty much, I mean, if you look back, U.S. history of U.S. real estate, especially here in Colorado, any home will appreciate, right? Your home's going to grow in value, but the difference is that rate of appreciation. I think that's underrated as far as how much better you can do if you make really good choices there. And we love getting those calls when people have made great choices to sell that home later because it's in a great location. It's a great floor plan. It's easy to sell. So there isn't really selfishness on our part. I feel like we're trying to make our clients money, but it also contributes to an easier sell down the road, which is a better experience for them. It's not as fun being on the market for 580 days because nobody wants to buy your home.
Let me try to say this because I think I'm assuming some folks have watched more than one of these. And if they have, we've spent in different ways talking a lot about when you get ready to list your house, where do you want to spend the money? Now we're on the buy side, it's the same thing, meaning if all the issue you're seeing is dingy old rugs and awful paint, like that's the easiest thing we can do, and the payoff is near immediate in terms of value, let alone the livability. And it's very related, but nowadays leaning towards a buyer market, if that's all it is, hopefully we can.
You're going to make money. That's the whole gist of this episode is like the wealth of it, right? The long-term wealth. So making the...
That was the last episode, but...
Well, we also... But like, if we're looking at it, we're looking for how to find the right property for, with potential appreciation and suitability for long-term wealth, right?
Totally.
So it's just... And these are small things, like small things to make a big impact. You got to kind of think of it on that type of scale because it does kind of suck, like going into a house. I'm in a house right now where I need to redo all the flooring, like our carpet. We bought an older house. I was one of those people that bought seeing the potential of what it could be, and there's a lot of potential in it. It's an awesome house, and we love it to death. But we're having a hard time pulling the trigger on doing flooring because we got to do it all in one. Basically, it's got to be one project, and it's 2,000 square feet above grade. So we have a big, and we want to do like VLP, right? The vinyl, the plank flooring, but it's expensive. And I know what it's going to do in the long run, but the initial investment's like, this is going to kind of hurt in the
Your
beginning.
kids and your dog aren't done beating on things either.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's kind of partially why we're waiting too. Yeah, but
we haven't talked about Spencer's home in a while.
Spencer's Pink Home.
Here it is. Hashtag STPT.
STPT?
See past the pink.
Yeah, see past. That's good. See past the pink. Man, I'm a prime example of it. But it is one of those things where it is, as hard as it is in the beginning of the initial investment, it will always pay off.
Yep.
Always pay off.
Definitely. Awesome. All right. Well, we covered a lot. Hopefully you've found it useful, and as you're getting excited about getting into your first home possibly, or making another move, maybe you've already figured out what you don't like from your first home, and now you're looking to get into a second home. If you're here in the local Denver metro area, we can help you with that. We'd love to guide you through that process, and we appreciate you listening. And remember to click on the subscribe button so you can hear more episodes just like this and learn more about how to do this, how to create that long-term wealth for yourself through great selection of properties and other things that we talk about here. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.